Our producer just talked to me like some weird, like, dominant submissive relationship was going on. Sorry. That really threw me off my game, Vince. He's like, that's right, you better be quiet before I go live. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of naughty, man. It's a little choice. Punished. Yeah, I thought I was. It was really weird. You know what else is weird? That whole introduction that I just did has nothing to do with what we're doing here. A little bit. Yeah. Sorry about that, viewers. So yeah, we are back live, guys. Don't adjust the stream. Hold on, let's just reset real quick. Ready? Pretend like we just came back from break. Okay. All right, ready, go. All right, go. What, dude? All right, I'll do the countdown and everything. Ready? All right, and we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You all right, mate? You all right? Do the introduction, dude. ESL New York Qualifier. We're not live, by the way. Okay, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Do the introduction. I'm so confused, mate. This has been a train wreck, hasn't it? I'll do it, man. Welcome back, everyone. It's map 2 between G2 and EnVyUs here in the semifinals of the ESL One New York European Qualifiers. Of course, it was G2 that took map 1 on Inferno. Very close game. I think it was 16-12, if I'm not mistaken. And so they are one map up as we now are in Cash, which is the pick of G2. The pistol round's going live. Let's go. See how I did that? Professional, mate. Yep. And we are indeed live into the first pistol of the second map. As you say, G2 taking EnVyUs' choice of maps. They are on the brink, potentially, of securing a finals position. Again, one team will qualify from the EU portion, one team from the NA side. And Screen is coming under heavy duress, but it's going to land 2 one-taps before he goes down. Oh, Kenny, though, answers back with 2 of his own. Pushing on the B side. Just XMS is here. Happy maybe going to lurk and try and push his way through vents if he can manage to get himself in close enough proximity. But Kenny's read the situation perfectly. 3 kills for him and he's still going strong. A 4. He's on for the ace. Down comes RPK. Lands 1. Oh, in a second, and RPK's got the clutch. As good as Kenny S was, RPK was up to the task. And Envy will claim first blood on Cash. Indeed, they will. It was quite a crazy round, though, when you think about it. Kenny S was just landed one-taps all across the map. It was actually kind of ridiculous what he was doing with that thing, but in the end, it just didn't even matter. RPK somehow comes up with the clutch 2 kills in the end to silence Kenny S. And now the only reward that G2 reap of that is the bomb plant, but that will be enough to get head armor and AK on Apex, as well as pistols and head armor across the rest of his team, except for Kenny, who will just take the L when it comes to armor and just go for the straight deagle. And we know how successful G2 have been on these rounds in this series, so I don't want to count them out in any regard. EnVyUs have really struggled against the upgraded pistols of G2. They have the raid boss of Apex with the AK-47. I understand they give it to that entry man. Although he isn't quite in first. He's going to be joining the rest of the troops. Bomb hands of Shocks currently in A main. The only straggler was Body, but now he's going to join the rest of his team. With just NBK out of Squeaky. Now with so many SMGs, the closer G2 get to Envy, this is where their power spike is going to come into fruition for the CT side. Have plenty of nades to use. Going to wait for this smoke to clear and the A main entrance, and now they're going to go for it. RPK showing himself at Apex with a lone AK. Is going to make it work. That kill is forthcoming, looking for more though. He's not content with the 1 kill. He's still tagged up from NBK from the side, but he doesn't care. He's taking headshots left, right, and center and dispersing them. As so will NBK. This has been a beautiful round of Counter-Strike from G2. I'm sure Envy won't agree, but they have been stomped out. And unless XMS pulls off one of the finer clutches of his career, this round is all but done. He's got the first. Will be maneuvering his way through connector. Won't be getting the second. G2 have done it. 1 AK, 4 pistols. They've made it work. Yeah, I mean, they just gave Apex the only big gun that they had, and he makes it work. Big entries from him, 3 kills on the round. He was the big difference maker.
Just the way that they were able to get the utility down on the A-bomb site and basically carve a path for Apex to waltz in and clean house. And that will be around going to G2. This will force EnVy now onto a low buy. As I want to see what G2 are going to respond with. They have been very good at handling rounds like this throughout the series, particularly on obviously the only map we've played before this, Inferno. So we'll see if that holds up to the test of cash, as they want to see if they can't jump off to an early lead, I'm sure, and really make sure that EnVy suffers the pains of being reset from their CT side. As Apex and Kitty S have both been boosted, and now they will run out and look for something. Sixer, though, not committing to the fight, just peeks, gets the info, and hightails it back to Truck, and gets ready for whatever is going to come their way. You can see Scream XMS, they're looking to play aggro on B lobby, so if it's a B-split, they want to cut that part off. It's going to be a highway attack, and RPK with the 250 gets the first frag.
The game of forces continues between these two teams. Expect nothing different between G2 and EnVy. Kenny, hungry for kills in mids, but G2 are trailing by a player. Now Garrett's been pushed. Happy is going to take Kenny S down. Body a little bit slow on that kill. He could have potentially saved his teammate. Unfortunate for the timing. MBK with the Galil. He's going to knock down Sixer to just 14 health. Sixer is eating up valuable time and resources. It cost him a flashbang, but now MBK and Body both chime in for kills, leaving Scream in a 1-on-2. Has an AK, has Kevlar. Has a chance, but that smoke is going to force him to retreat back into mid. I'm not sure if he'll necessarily go for this. He's going to have to get a move on if he is, though. 10 seconds left. The bomb does get planted, and indeed he will go for it. Ooh, Body's playing a dangerous game. Gonna Molotov onto Highway. Scream's looking for a gap in the fire. A way of pushing through. That smoke may afford him it. And now he realizes this round is done. Doesn't have a kit. Time's running scarce. And to make matters worse, he's got a 2-player crossfire facing him if he pushes through Highway. He made the correct decision. It sucks to bow out like that, but ultimately, not much you can do.
That's one of those rounds where Body just really shines as a player and shows you his worth on this team. I mean, not only does he collect 2 kills and get the bomb plant, and then he uses utility to stave off Scream to make sure that they win the round, but he also had a key pop flash that MBK was able to use to actually push Truck and get them into the 2v1 and bail them out of what was a tough spot, right? Because they were suffering some casualties from those pistols. I mean, it was looking a little bit grim at times, but the work of Body really helped G2 weather the storm, and now they're up 2-1, and they do have EnVyUs onto what is a save outside of the AK that Scream was able to recycle, and some armor behind RPK's P250, so G2 a great chance to maybe leap up to the 3-1 start. I'll also say this is crazy. Again, some position changes from G2. They have MBK playing door. That used to be Shock. Shock has for a long time been a door player. So again, it's kind of crazy to see G2 like really kind of shifting around the personnel and how they want to play default. But look at this round. What is going on from EnVyUs? They're making even less work in this round.
He gets destroyed as he switches his weapons. Body's hot on the trail. Mac 10 will come out to the top of that trade. Has to realize he's a goner anyway. Wants to inflict as much damage as possible. Shocks. 1-on-3. Does have time to play with. Realizes he doesn't have to necessarily push on the B side. Skills instead. There's the first one. Down to 19 health. Not gonna happen. An EnVy. Wouldn't you know it? A forced buy, or at least a partial buy, is gonna get them the rounds.
It's crazy that their force buy didn't actually work, but then they have to do more with less, and they still make it happen. They tie it up 2-all. G2, though, still has some money left over to recover and still get a full buy into this. But obviously, if they lose this, they would be on to a save. And then G2, on the other hand, have a chance to reset EnVy. So this is kind of a 2-for-1 deal type round for the most part. Again, just opening default, and again, just noting the new positions for these players within the default.
Well, with G2 having enough fun saved, they're going to be having an AK by their own. The game of ecos and forces continues, but this time it's going to be full rifles. And quite literally full rifles. No ops on the server. And 6 will serve a headshot first class. And Shocks can't do much about that. NES does return fire though, and we'll get a second, both headshots. Hasn't had the greatest of games with the AWP, but he's been doing a great job when it comes to the rifles. And Inferno, he did struggle a little bit at times. And with the 2 kills that have gone down, Envy pretty thinly spread. 2 players on B, no one's controlling mid, although Scream has half an eye on mid, as he's currently in the vents. And leaves RPK on his own on the A site, just at the back of quad. 30 seconds. MBK making a nuisance of himself, trying to play a bit of interference, but the rest of the team is now starting to move up. Envy have quickly rotated. It's going to be a 4-on-3 on the site. This could bode very well for the CT side. All it takes is a couple of kills, and this round is pretty much done with this time left. XMS is going to go for one, and so will Scream. XMS comes for one, and that's the round done. It's flawless, actually, in that 4-on-3. EnVyUs Crossfire is just on point.
Really good recovery from EnVyUs, because that round was looking quite dangerous after Kenny S was getting a couple of kills and, you know, giving G2 the edge, but Envy just clamped down that A-bomb side, did not allow G2 to break through. And so they will be up 3-2, and they've reset G2. G2 now have to take a save. This is where EnVyUs can start building themselves up a little bit, as this is essentially no threat being posed by G2. They're on 3 Glocks. One of the P250s is already down. It will be picked up by body, but you know that the point is there's no teeth on this force buy from G2. You know what I mean? There is no force behind it. They've been successful on low buys, but this is a whole different story.
Yeah, just P250s, that's it. Saving the bulk of their finances for the next round. P250's going to be going in the first. Body has one of them. Kenny the other one. And they both fallen. MBK been playing door time and time again. RPK had already switched his attention there. Had called what was about to come up against him. And so G2 will bow out of round 6. But again, AKs will be forthcoming. There hasn't even been enough economy really built up so far to allow Kenny S to have an AWP. He's constantly had to go into AKs.
Right. We will see what G2 wants to do. Again, they're normally a team that likes to play off their default, which a lot of teams do. Just, you know, kind of like a 1-3-1 type thing. 2 players on the extremities, and then, you know, working some type of mid control, maybe boosting, you know, getting into A main, just leaving your options open. But they decide to double push door, and NBK takes out both of them. Sixer with the AWP in a site can maybe take NBK down. He does. He takes a little bit of damage, though, and G2 still have the advantage. They're looking to maybe even shuffle into it and execute. Now they know that there might be a bit of an opening there, but the rotate actually kind of fills the gap. But Apex coming through, finds the kill onto Sixer. That's A open now because he gets the follow-up on Scream, and things couldn't have really gone worse for EnVyUs in this round.
Oh, Kenny. All right, then. I said he can't afford an AWP. Of course, if he picks up one from the corpse of EnVyUs, then he's good to go.
What a round, dude.
I mean, that was just a blitz of a round. Just a demolition through on the A site. They cut down EnVyUs' economy. They have very little to play with if they lose this one now. Looking in rough shape.
As again, it'll be the default opening from G2 this time. They have the Kenny S op behind it. They will shift him over towards the B side while kind of keeping everyone else in their normal positions. Do see a little bit of aggression from EnVyUs on B. They are having Sixer peek down with the AWP, but Kenny is not going for the peek. He's just kind of holding an angle. We may not really see them meet up unless Sixer keeps extending. But he's also content just to kind of sit and hold, and so it will just kind of be a standoff that leads to a retreat, but now Body's looking to press in. Gets caught for his troubles.
Yeah, in a position that clearly Body wasn't expecting. You typically won't slow peek when you know the enemy has weapons, especially an AWP. Kenny S, land one. He's given a second life as well. I mean, the player that's below him on boost really should be getting that kill. I think it was Scream. Position, lands a flick shot onto Scream. Get wrecked. And opens up mid nicely. The downside for Kenny is, although he's pulled off some heroics, the rest of his team has been getting battered and bruised. And now it's all on Kenny. And sprayed down he will be from Happy. So G2 blitzed through in the previous round, but EnVyUs, credit to them. They show true grit to hold on the round after.
Yeah, that was looking so good, and Kenny S was clearing out middle basically by himself with AWP, but Body going down the Sixer early. And also the fact that Sixer was able to pick up another nice op frag there onto Apex was the big difference maker of the round. So EnVyUs still do go up 5-3 on the scoreboard. Still a little bit of a bye though here from G2, though. Shox takes a lot of damage. He's one of the guys with an AK, and Scream is going to finish the job by himself. Apex tries to come and help, but Scream takes him out as well with the help of RPK. And so another great early start into a round for EnVyUs, and it might just keep piling on. There's Happy with the double AWP setup. And G2 have been absolutely declawed in this round.
Yeah, once again, EnVyUs showing no chill. They're just killing G2 where they stand, not giving them any chance, any hope whatsoever. MBK and Kenny S have the tall task ahead of them of just getting anything done. Time is on their side for the time being. They're going to go for a boost. Happy just making sure that no one's sat in main left side up on the boxes. No real reason to move a great deal for EnVyUs as they're in good positions, but now the Kenny is having his way with the AK-47 with 2 kills. And get interested. He's in a third as well while flashbangs. This is in the realms of possibilities. Not going to expect the flank coming around from XMS though. And XMS will spoil the party. But Kenny S is on a tear, 13-8. He's 8 kills ahead of the nearest player on his team.
He's got to be in that whole meme of why ain't nobody help me if this game keeps going like this, because he's definitely had the individual efforts to give his team chances. He's definitely had the big multi-frag rounds. I mean, it started with Pistol. He had 4 kills in the round. They still lost it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the guy's definitely been on a tear throughout this, and it just hasn't amounted to as many rounds as I'm sure he's hoping for. As now it will be a pistol armor attempt from G2, and they're going to pick up the speed, looking to get to the speed bomb site as quickly as they can. There are 2 players here. Default 2-1-2 for Envy. MBK doing its best to hold other people in position so they get the edge as they come in.
Get mowed down the screen. Oh, spins around, lands the shot on Apex. Didn't expect him to land that frag. XMS. He was chilling in the smoke. Finding his time, ready to strike, and the only loose screen. They have repelled yet another round. That is now 3 in a row. In the last 7, EnVyUs have won 6 of them.
And they've definitely been on point here lately, and that round looks scary, to be honest. I thought that Stream and XMS would get overwhelmed, but they managed to plant their feet in the ground and put up a good hold, and so G2 find no success with that, and now they have to do more with less in this round. And Scream's already found first blood, putting one between the eyes of Kenny S there in Sunroom, and so again, it looks like Envy will be able to continue going forward with a big lead.
Scream and quick headshots. I think there's a meme somewhere there. And he's having more of a loop. 3 kills. It is getting too carried away, but Envy have done a pretty solid job. You know, it started really scrappy. It was back and forth, the game, of course, as we were talking about. But since then, Envy have done a really good job at getting rid of these ecos and not allowing really that many kills to come through from G2. It's allowed them to build up a few thousand on a couple of players now. MBK, not long for this world. He's just hoping someone pushes through the door and he gets 1 kill, and that's really his best case scenario for him right now. Oh!
Well,
okay. Happy's mad. It looked good, so at least we got something out the round for G2. Kenny's got an AWP.
Yep.
Let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah, this is where I think they'll just be looking to play a slower default, just try to set Kenny S up to try to get something with this AWP. Again, interesting to see Shox not playing door anymore. It's been a position for him for so long. And MBK never really played it either, because when he was playing with Happy, Happy played that spot. So it's definitely interesting times for G2's default. But again, I think this is where you really want to just like give Kenny S a chance to work things. Give him a chance to put the AP to work. He's had a good game individually so far. He's looking for something at A main right now. No one pushing the smoke, though, so he won't get anything for free. He'll have to try to just keep working his way forward if he wants to peek into A. May go for the mid boost now, it looks like. Or not. I'm not really sure what that was about.
Do seem a little bit indecisive, G2, in these kind of rounds on the T side. Oh, Scream's going to use that smoke just to save his life. I know he's going to be roughly around the boost as a result of that. Or below boost, I should say, the counter boost. Flash right up in the air, Mark come out. This is great play to even get one kill from that position. I feel like he'd be a goner almost instantly. He's done his job. There's 2 AWPs in play now for the CTs, one of which is in the hands of Sixer, and Apex will find that out firsthand. He's gone. MBK trying to spam through the doors. This is a dangerous affair, though, and Sixer will lay him down, too. He was looking great for G2. They had the 4v3. Then Sixer decided to take the round away. Remaining 2 terrorists going to B. They should have a clear path to the site. And the bomb plants. Up in heaven. Other 2 of his teammates going to be just behind him. He's just spotted the arm, and he'll convert that pixel into a frag. Kenny now on 1 and 3. He's playing well, but that flashbang is going to completely neutralize him, mitigating that potential clutch power. And Envy pick up yet another one. It's 9-3.
It's so crazy because it was looking so good for G2 to start off that round. I mean, they did so well with their utility to get some mid control and isolate Scream. And, you know, I mean, Scream shouldn't have even gotten 1 kill, to be fair. But even then, it wasn't bad. I mean, they traded 2 for 1. So they had, you know, a 4-on-3, essentially. But Sixer just went to work with that op from the A site. I mean, that was really key for EnVyUs. You know, he was able to really silence G2 and kind of force them to reroute to the B-bomb site, where, yeah, they got the plant, but were unable to hold off the retake as they were a man down. And so they're running out of space. The runway is coming to a close, and their plane has not launched off the ground. In this half, as EnVyUs are looking to get double digits here shortly. G2 do have a full buy in this one, but the op's not going to be a part of it. They are going to just hold to their default again. They are, again, looking maybe to boost middle and trying to get some control there. They've been successful in doing that, but it's just they haven't got anything off the back of it yet. We'll see if this fares better as Shocks does come out. Spot Sixer gets the headshot. That could finally mean something for them.
An important trade will go the way of RPK. Kenny S, Apex, and Body moving their way to B once again. That smoke is going to block them, though. Molly onto the side, Body gets the kill, and there's Apex as well. Headshot living up to its name, but it's XMS on the wrong side. And again, B2 have the advantage. Again, they're going to get the bomb planted. But again, will we see EnVyUs retake? That flashbang not quite on point. I'm happy it's not far off this wallbang, you know. Oh, Apex is going to get blasted through there. Not again, G2. Not like this. With Body on such low HP, this could be doable, but Kenny S is going to alleviate some of the pressure before being smoked off, but Kenny with a disgusting
He's a god.
Smoke. He really is a god. He's on a different level when he's in this kind of form. 15 and 11. Get on his back, boys.
I mean, that was just pretty sick from Kenny S to just make sure that that goes through for G2, because it got a little bit scary when Happy was able to get the spam through the wall thanks to the information from RPK and Vince, who knew that that guy was playing back checkers. And also just great work from Body and company to get that kill on the Scream and B. I mean, he was like jumping and he was flashed. It was really awkward, but he got the job done. So just G2 able to stay ahead in the trading game throughout that round. We are going to see, you know, G2 not really stray away from their comfort zone. Again, just kind of holding this default pattern to kick things off. Again, looking for mid-control late in the round, or in the middle, I should say, as they do make their way out. Gonna be a counter boost, though, coming from Envy.
XMS and Scream able to hold on. Again, G2 start to get something going their way. It looks like they're going to get derailed. Are they? Shocks and Body both come through with kills. Scream from the backside, though. Takes out Shocks. Bomb dropped. Turning his attention to the garage. Smart play. Will yield a kill. Body, all that remains, has the bomb. Will get the plant at the very least. And now it's all about timing. There's 3 players up against you. If they all peek at once, Body's not going to have too many opportunities. He does have a Molotov, and there's no smoke in the hands of G2. Not required. RPK does catch Body as he goes for the peek, and he's forced into peeking. He knows that if he stays in the back of the site, he's basically a dead man, so he's got to take the initiative. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. EnVyUs already double digits.
Yeah, and if he gets that kill on the Vince player and gets some checkers, like you said, he had a molly, he might be able to put that on the bomb. There's no way to extinguish it. Maybe he plays out for time and wins. So, I mean, he was definitely doing the right thing. He just didn't find the frag. EnVyUs they countered that mid control so well. I mean, yeah, they conceded it for a moment there, but that counter boost in the Vince, and then the flashbang from Highway that allowed the peek from Vince to get that kill. Scream chimes in with a couple. The counters from EnVyUs have been so good on this map. Their aggression, the way that they peek into G2 going for control, like that round they push MBK and Door, for example, or the way Sixer gets aggressive peeks with the AWP, like, they've just been defending so well. G2 has not had very much breathing room in this game, and now it comes down to this last round, a push on B with limited resources.
Gone through without nades, though, and that's going to allow Body to get up close and personal. He goes down, but Kenny S. He's the second player to force his way through to penetrate on the B side. MPK with a 1 deke. And again, B appears to be the weaker of the two sides. EnVyUs into yet another retake. We've been here before multiple times. Now some of those weapons have traded hands. G2 have more bang for their buck. They've still got 2 flashes and a smoke. The EnVyUs have a whole bunch of nades themselves. They'll be tossing weapons onto the site. Trying to cordon off some areas. Apex with one, shot with another. And it will end with G2 in winning ways. 10-5. This is still very much up for grabs, but this second pistol vitally important, especially for the G2 side.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if that's enough for G2. I mean, I know that they have a strong lineup, and I mean, they have the skill to be a very good CT team and really bring this one back into range, but I mean, Envy did a fantastic job, I thought, on their CT side. And they're in good shape to perhaps force out a third map in this thing after all. We could very well be seeing this go the distance, but we'll see if G2 can win pistol, you know, do well to avoid losing to 4 spies, which they've done a pretty good job of doing that throughout the series. I mean, they very well could put themselves right on the heels of EnVyUs before too much time has passed, so we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on it. I mean, one thing's for sure, with G2, Apex has always historically been the best solo rifle mid player I've ever seen. Like, it's such a hard position to play on Cash, to like be the only guy really worried about middle as a rifler. Sometimes you'll see Oppers play passive from CT or something. But Apex, the way he handles it, you know, from Highway or just however he decides to play it, particularly Highway box, he's just so good at it. I think he's probably the best player in that position in the game.
Definitely a solid shout, and one that I'm interested and excited to watch. And speaking of which, if this does go to a third map, which you highlighted, there is a very real possibility it may. We're in for Cobblestone. That is a treat in amongst itself with these two teams. That could be great to watch.
Oh, absolutely. You would favor G2 a bit that it's been their best map since they put this 5 together. I think they're like 11-1 offline or something nuts like that on Cobblestone, and their online record's also quite strong. But again, it's definitely a map where some of the guys that are on EnVyUs have a history of being quite good on it as well. So that would definitely be a cool battleground for them to play on if we do in fact get there. EnVyUs have certainly put in a good amount of work to lead that direction, but they still have to finish the job. In G2, they still have a chance to maybe keep the 2-0 dream alive. It'll all come down to this pistol, so we will get this thing live and going.
Live for the second half of the second map. EnVyUs trail 1-0 to G2, but they are certainly ahead. And if they can convert this pistol, they're in with a shout of taking the second map. Bit of utility on 6, so there's actually no kit for G2, so they're running up raw, not looking for any retakes as a result of that. They want to make sure they have a solid grasp of both sites, and with MBK being up this aggressive in Sunroom, next to the toxic barrels, this actually affords them to play 3 or 4 players on A, and have one just rotating on Highway. They know it can't be B. This is actually really important where MBK currently is. I can't understate that enough. Or overstate that enough, I should say. Happy's already been tagged down to 13. And maybe rotate round, and it's not a position you really expect someone to be in either. MBK could be in for a hatful of frags if he plays this correctly. He's about to see action as well. They're running past him. Oh, not like this. MBK takes not one kill, but goes down. Again, though, the scouting is worth so much. Kenny's already moved into position with just 3 health, though. 1 bullet, and he's dead, man. And it is going to be delivered by XMS. Down goes Apex 2. It's gone horribly wrong for G2. It was looking so good just a few moments prior.
Bomb has been planted.
Bomb planted. Shocks and body. Is this retake possible? Again, as I highlighted earlier, there's no kits. They're going to have to get a move on. Flashbang will keep body at bay for a few more moments. He has seen one player, and the second as well. Going to flick across. He knows someone's in checkers. It's going to be 6 of both the players at the back of the site. With one planted for them, Body's going to have to take the fight to them. He can't afford to stick on the site, and 6 will take him out the equation. EnVyUs pick up the second pistol.
And that will help them stay out in front. G2 really could have used that for a chance to close the gap and get this into a close game, but EnVyUs hold them off. Really well done. Handling MBK efficiently in Sunroom and then rolling it out into a B play that they're able to shut down pretty good. G2 will, of course, be able to get the Force Spy going here, but they go light on the armor. Shocks and Kenny S are Deegs only. I'm wondering if that means they want to jump straight to the AAWP.
Definitely possible.
Definitely the team that would do it, too. I mean, they love double op, both sides of the map. Especially if you feel like you're going down really low like this, you're only going to get a couple of chances. You may want to go for your best bet.
Yeah, may as well stave off the temptation of a full-on Force Spy. Get the AWPs as soon as possible. 3 MAC-10s, 2 AKs. Now, if there's ever a time where G2 were hoping that one of their forces would work, it's right here, right now. The flashes are raining in, though. Can't see a great deal. Body still getting CZ frag. Can they get any more for their doubles? No, they can't. XMS spraying MBK up through the smoke. But Shocks has managed to get himself around the back of them. He's picked up 2 kills. This is going to be horrible for Shocks. He's picked up a 3rd as well. And Shocks finishes off with a beautiful 4K. Perfect positioning, perfect aim. And he's going to get the defuse. What a beast.
Even when they don't fully commit to the Force, they're still so dangerous with upgraded pistols. There's so many good deaglers on this G2 lineup, Shocks being one of them, and he absolutely breaks that by himself, just sneaking in, breathing down the neck of that player by forklift, getting the free frag, and just coming into the site, and things got hella awkward from that point forward for EnVyUs, and Shocks capitalizes. He's been kind of quiet throughout this game. Many of the G2 players have been outside of Kenny S, but not that round.
Unbelievable. And just as I was saying, if ever they want an eco or a force to work, it's now. Shocks, he is the call of the rest of his team.
And it's crazy because, I mean, that round wasn't looking good at all. Like, the execute from EnVyUs was on point. The utility was great. They were coordinated well. They were getting entries. They had, like, 3 kills as they came in, particularly that spam from XMS through the smoke. So, I mean, the odds were really stacked against G2, but it's just Shocks with the solo effort. That's why he's considered one of the best, the things that he can do.
Shocks is feeling it. There's very few players that can contend with him, but the worst thing that G2 could do right now, after that inspirational, epic, highlight reel-worthy moment, is throw away this round.
Yep.
They've got to keep this going forward, otherwise that last round is for nothing. They've already lost the first player, and that's Kenny S. That's a pretty huge player to lose early doors in round 18 here. Body, intelligently not going to be fighting for much longer. It's more of a dip and run. Sees a couple of players, going to pull out to the rest of his team. Now the safety net events has been breached. Apex knows he's about to get pushed. Multiple angles to be facing him. That's solid. Bradley just spins around with RPK. It's looking much better for G2 now. After a rocky start, so to get a real stranglehold over this round. And Shocks to the SB9 picks up from where he left off last round. Only losing Kenny S as well. It could have been a whole lot worse for G2.
That got really scary. I thought Apex was done for. I mean, the guy got into the site. I don't think he even realized it happened that quickly. He was so focused on countering checkers with his utility that one slipped through the cracks, but he was able to respond. So really well done by him, and just a good hold overall. Shox with the quick flank, perfectly timed with the SMG, able to put it to good use, and now they have essentially a full save coming out of EnVyUs. A chance for Shox to perhaps even print more money with that MP9, but there will be the rifles going to work for G2 to kick this off. And Shox actually already taken down, but the response from G2 was swift. And they'll remain quite out in front in this round. They should be closing shop soon.
Even though Shox went down, they were able to get the avenge kills, which is vitally important. Sixer and Scream. Scream spots and prey. It's going to be Kenny S. Kenny would do well to stop peeking him. The issue is he's got Sixer as well. He needs someone to help him out. And, well, Scream's got the kill. Pressure on, and Apex has instantly got dinked as well. Fortunately, he's got everything there to have his back covered. And Sixer could sense the blood in the water. Unfortunately, he goes straight into a net.
And so now EnVyUs will finally be able to get their purchases out. Kenny S will have the AWP in his hands. A very B-heavy opper. We're very well known for being just, you know, you're usually leaning towards the B-bomb side, but this time they actually have MBK and Apex playing over there. Again, this is a team where MBK actually plays B now, so despite the fact he has a spot named after him on the other side of the map, he actually plays B on this team, as usually Shox and Body will be on the opposite side. And it'll be the case as well, as they are actually doing a lot of head stack inside, but RPK cleans house over here, and B by himself. It's already wide open now. The bomb isn't there yet, but this is pretty much a done deal, and you can see G2, they're already just saving. They know that there's really no hope for them. And the money is low on a couple of their players, or maybe they just don't realize that they're committing to be with the bomb. I don't know. Like, they're pushing door now. That got hella awkward for Shox. I don't know. This is kind of weird.
Even though they have decent money on a few plays, it's not worth throwing the investment of an AWP and an M4 away. We all know, we've all been there countless times, that just a couple of rounds can completely neutralize any economy that the CTs have built up. But this does mean that EnVyUs will be 12-8 in the lead. And after a spree of 3 rounds, G2 are still backs against the wall. EnVyUs is circling around them like sharks, but Body is going to take down Sixer. This could get costly. Kenny S and Body will both go down, though, and an AWP will trade hands. That's particularly rough for G2. You can see that Kenny's on 2.7k, Shox is on 3.3k. So they really wanted to save that AWP if possible, but it's not going to happen.
It's not, and they're actually going to make sure they get Kenny another op, and it does come at the cost of some players having to go to SMGs to do so instead of dropping rifles, or maybe they would have been able to get one for themselves as well. So they really want to make sure Kenny has the AWP, and again, they're not putting him at B where he normally resides. They're actually going to put him at quad, so they're trying to move him around, keep EnVyUs guessing where the op might be coming from. Meanwhile, look at Shox. Tries to go for an individual play. XMS still waiting with open arms. And that's a big piece to lose so early. MBK is going to try to even it up.
And he will. He will take that RPK. There's no one else to avenge his loss in life. Body able to hold down the forklift. I think he saw the second player actually coming up highway there, which is Scream. Scream's to get the timing, but Kenny S right back in his own frag, and his second one as well. Kenny continues to be a monster. At 2k, has pretty much turned the fortunes of this round back in favor of the CTs. Sixer may think about a wall bang, and if he did, it would be on quad, but with him being on his own and trying to play more stealthily, I doubt he's going to go for that.
Yeah, and that's why you pinch pennies to make sure Kenny S has an op, if you can do it.
Exactly.
And he delivers for his team big there. As G2, they keep hanging on. Like, EnVyUs are looking to break free and sprint to the finish line, and they've been in position to do so a couple of times, but G2 keep lingering around with plays like this. Even that round looked a bit grim when Shocks went down so early, but the response from MBK and Kenny S was on point. EnVyUs have played such a good game, but again, G2 are making this as difficult as possible on Envy and have a chance to, you know, still come right back and take the lead away from them if this keeps up. It's not as if money is the best for the Envy side.
No, both teams are in a pretty sketchy position in terms of finances at this point. G2 certainly in the lead in that case, but again, it just takes that one flash of brilliance and G2 will be feeling the economy once more. In this round, it's just going to be pistols and Kevlar. It is an investment. It's not a full investment. Still 3 players and 1k. 6 is down to 50. Obviously, no round loss as he saved the AWP instead of going out for kills. How many times have we already seen this best of 3 Deagles come to prominence and just clean house? AWP shot not quite landing, although I think they spotted 2 players coming up towards B. So there's at least some information for G2. Sixer tries to return the favor, and he's also going to swing and miss. Up mid, though, we're seeing some action. Screams going up there, and he's deeked Apex. Body now on the boost. He's in a bit of a bad position at this stage, because Scream's got himself another headshot. What is going on here? How is Scream able to just move up highway with no retaliation whatsoever? Shocks is going to go in for a kill, but he's down to 10. And the Glock can definitely finish him off, and indeed it will. There could be a bomb plant forthcoming. Kenny's seen Sixer trying to sneak a bomb plant. Not on my watch. RPK from behind, 50-50. Wishes he had anything else other than that gun at this stage, but still, in fairness to him, takes down MBK. So although G2 win the round, they lose 4 players, their economy still not building.
Yeah, so I mean, G2 goes to their more traditional setup in that round. They do put Kenny S's op in B, which is normally his home base, and they trust in Apex to solo hold middle with their rifle, which is kind of what we were talking about, you know, before the half started, something that Apex is very well known for, one of the best at doing, but he got caught in that round. Scream does get a kill, and then their other line of defense for middle was body, you know, up on the boost, and, you know, that's a really hard spot to defend highway from when you're also worried about being pushed from A main. He did his job to kill XMS, the first guy out, but then you just have to try to win a straight-up duel against Scream, and it just didn't happen. So, you know, some really good stuff out of Envy in that regard, but it's just Kenny S has been so on point this map. I mean, from pissed around in the first half going forward, he's just been an absolute menace, and in that round, the AWP comes up with 3 kills. You know, every time Envy started to strike and they were getting into it, Kenny would find an op frag that would forever change everything in the round. And I kind of do wonder why you would plan open like that when RPK is so far away. It was like really risky to try to get away with that.
Yeah, it did seem a bit forced, for sure.
I mean, I guess, you know, if you plant default and RPK is coming from B, there's no chance it's planted for him at that point. At least if you plant open, there's a shot for him to do something if you can stay alive, but it just didn't happen that way. But whew.
Okay. That's the Deagle beating an AWP. And that's going to leave a mark. Scream. He's been spotted. Body can see his gun sticking around the corner. Still lands with a shot, though, by Scream. So he's down to 60, but the rest of the team is crumbling. Bomb drops out mid. That's pretty much the round done. It's over. Surely it's over. Please don't do this to me, G2. I don't think my heart can take watching this happen again.
Sure it can.
There we go. I'll be saying the exact same thing if G2 are about to eco Envy. I don't know how many times we've seen eco and Force Spies win in this best of 3. It seems far too many.
Yeah, it's been mostly on G2's side that it's happened. As G2 are now just 1 round away from tying this thing back up. So for all the work that EnVyUs did in the first half, which was brilliant to get themselves well out in front, it's all but been erased at this point. They still have a chance here in this round to hold them off, as they will have a full buy. I won't have an AWP on Sixer, but they will have rifles and utility. All the door push comes into Happy. It's an equal trade, though. Not good enough if you're in G2, I don't think. But at the very least, they don't go well under. At least they're able to salvage a frag out of it.
Body. Sixer with the spray with the smoke's going to claim the kill onto MBK.
Oh,
Shox needs to get this kill. He's going to get one. Is he going to be able to turn his attention elsewhere? The smoke keeping XMS in the fight. He knows roughly where Shox is. I don't think he'll expect Shox to push him, though. Or maybe he will. Now, Shox is the player that's going to get caught unaware. Kenny S and Apex. Last two remaining CTs. Kenny S on the truck. Apex coming through connector. They're going to find XMS ahead of him. And does take him out. RPK in the trade against Kenny S. But again, the AWP will come through. 6 up with his AK doing a lot of damage. Kenny dropped to 8. 6 will not be planting out in the open. He's learnt from his previous attempts. Flash out. 6 maybe looking for the peak, but Kenny S will oblige. Down goes Sixer, and G2 are all even. After a pretty rough first half, 10-5, it's now 12-12.
Another very scary round when you consider how it played out. I mean, they traded 1 for 1 at Squeaky. They handled Shox very well at middle. They didn't really allow him to go too crazy. They traded him out. They were getting into the A-bomb site. They were making some headway, but again, it's Kenny S's op that is the end to all things. And the double op setup will come into play again, and this time again, it'll be on NBK instead of Shox. They want the B anchor to have the op while they put Kenny S's into middle. Looking to get very aggressive with it as well. He's sliding into peak mid garage. He's got Shox for support to watch his boosts. Oh, that hurts though. But Kenny S still somehow gets the kill and gets out of there.
Gotta say, he's having a hell of a map as well here. He's been landing so many entries, so many of those edge shots, as you'd like to say. RPK's gonna line up and knock him down. G2 turning into dominoes for a brief second. And with MBK's presence being felt on B, they know A side is just fine. It's going to take them a little while, though. 6 originally was moving towards B side. So I'm going to take another 10 or so seconds before he gets onto the site itself on A. And meanwhile, it looks like G2 will save onto this AWP because their economy's not great either. MBK's got $350. Body's on $750. They need to save this weapon if they want to go for a buy.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say that EnVyUs have done a really good job at limiting Shox's impact, which is not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. There's been a couple times they've just outright, taken him down with no frags or, limited him to 1 where usually he can multi-frag. So that's been really big. I also think that, Apex has had a tougher time on the CT side as well. He's normally a guy who's very prominent with the rifle in middle, and he hasn't really been able to get a whole hell of a lot done. And that's really helped out EnVyUs in a big way. Like, they're really, every time G2 do get there, they do just hold them off. And that's the case here again, as money, like you said, is low, but MBK does pull down 1 with them. But unfortunately, he really needed to save the op more than he needed exits. As you can see, money is so low on a couple of their players. Kenny S will still buy the op, though. Rifle for Apex. So it looks like they will just buy all that they can in this round. They're going for it here and now.
I feel like the flowchart for G2 at this point is, does Kenny have enough for an AWP? If yes, force buy.
That's fair enough.
The way he's been playing, why the hell not?
Yeah, he's been your best bet at winning rounds. Every single time he's asked to come through, he pretty much has. Last round would be the only real exception to that.
This does, however, Dust, though, if they lose this round, this completely bones them.
Yep.
They are basically down to their last chance now.
Yep.
And it's not that great a buy either. MP9. Couple pistols. Sure, they've got an M4 in the hands of Apex, and Kenny, of course, on his coveted AWP. Not too many nades either.
Now, looking like they're trying to get aggressive at B here with Apex's M4. RPK and Sixer, though, are holding an angle, kind of waiting for him. MBK's kind of baiting with the P250, trying to see if he can get the information for Apex and maybe bait out some bullets. As the utility is being used here to start trying to clear in and get some control of Sunroom and B lobby, but Apex is quick with the flashbang, only gets 1 though, and they can't recycle his rifle.
MBK though, MBK behind the box, they might not expect another player to be here. Oh, they're actually going to back away. Or are they? Are they setting up for the bait? They've now seen the M4 picked up, but Scream still gets nailed by MBK. Not like this, EnVyUs please.
Why?
Why is MBK peeking that before the smoke plumes?
Not like this.
Why would you do that? Nathan, I love you, but what the hell was that, mate? And now Shocks up in heaven. He's forced into a trade, and this has just gone horribly wrong. And again, I go back to that MBK move. Why is that happening?
I have no idea, man. I'm not sure what that was.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, I can't even explain that one away. I'm not really sure what the thought was there. I don't know if he had like some weird false insecurity that no one would be there or something. But then if you didn't think anyone was there, why would you smoke it? Like, you clearly you do think there's a chance. I don't know, man. It's kind of inconsistent stuff there. And if you are going to peek it. Like, he wasn't even staring through P main. Like, something seems really odd about that. Either way, that could be basically the downfall of G2 in this map now, because money obviously is pretty much all gone. Body doesn't even get to save that gun. And I mean, you're either gonna force buy pistol armor again because you don't want to give EnVyUs free map point, or you're gonna have to take a full save here and play for overtime. Like, that's their options. And it looks like they will choose to, you know, get a couple of upgraded pistols, but no armor behind it. So yeah, they are just playing for the tie now at this point.
EnVyUs prime position to take two and bring us to Cobblestone, the all-important decider. Semi-finals in New York. EU qualifiers here. One team will move through not just this match, but qualify overall. And the second best of three of today, which is going to come up right after this, is going to be big against Gambit. But back into the action. A slow, steady round. EnVyUs setting up for an anti-eco. They know that G2 are strapped for cash. They know that G2 either have nothing or they have sort of a force buy on pistols. Either way, sitting back and waiting to see if they push them is going to be the correct play. So it could be in for a bit of a slow one here. Just under a minute to play with. And he's beginning to ring out on the B side of the map. MBK. 250 in hand, realizes what's about to come at him and instantly moves out the way. They would have heard one tick from the Molotov though, so it's going to at least alert their presence to one player in checkers. MBK. Oh, that's going to be all she wrote. Apex now. Does chime in for a frag of his own, but he's got three players to find. They're in perfect positions. They have the bomb planted in the next few moments. And Sixer has drilled Apex. So G2, 3 rounds required to take us to overtime.
Yeah, they've saved up for this moment here. EnVyUs, they've been so on point lately. They've handled every curveball that G2's thrown at them on their CT side. Any little gimmick that G2's gone for. Any aggression that's come their way, they've always handled it perfectly. You know, yeah, maybe they'll lose a player, but they always make sure they trade at least even, and then they capitalize afterwards. So they've definitely had a good approach to their offense. They've definitely kind of rolled with the punches, so to speak, that G2's been trying to throw at them. So we'll see if they can finish the job and move on to a third map, which would be Cobblestone, to decide who will move on to those finals for later on. M4's across the board for G2. No AWP this time for Kitty S. We'll have to try to do work with the Silence Colt. Not that he's too shabby with that gun either.
Yeah, I'd actually say on the first map he was better with the rifles than he was with the AWP. It's lack of kits, so it's going to be a worry. No incendiaries either. And again, B appears to be the site of choice. And this can sense there's a couple of weaknesses. Shock starting to move through onto A main, just to try and scout out what's coming up. They're now going to find out as the Molotovs start to rain onto the site with smokes. It's going to be B. Apex and MBK though have held this down perfectly. Trying to make amends, and Sixer with a no-scope onto Kenny S. Smashes him out the round. They're going to look to boost outside of vent and rotate back towards the A side. There's not much time to play with though. And G2 rolling red picks. Both Shocks and Body were starting to rotate. They decided to go back to A. Shocks has died though. Shot in the back of Happy. Oh, and down goes Body as well. They needed one of these players to stick on the site and at least land something. Apex has been knocked down to 9. This could be the beginning of the end. EnVyUs on the brink of taking the round. And taking us to map 3. 6 has missed that shot though, allowing MBK an extra chance at clutching this. Moving through the site. Doesn't have a kit, remember. He's going to have to be fasting those one players in Squeak. He's running out of bullets. He's running out of time. Still only 3 bullets in the chamber. And down he goes. Scream is going to finalize map 2. Cobblestone will be our decider of this first best of 3 semifinals.
Yeah, if you're a coach or an analyst or an in-game leader or just a player trying to get better at the game, do yourself a favor and download this demo, because EnVyUs' T side was so on point, particularly these last 5 or 6 rounds. I think that they just showed you how to counter aggression. They did really well with that. Their ability to take checkers control was so on point, like the utility that they used, like the smoke that XMX kept throwing on the doorway from a safe position, the Molotov that they used, the flashes that they used. How methodically they kind of made sure that they were, you know, clearing out spots together and making sure that they were always trading. That was so important. And then that last round in particular was just brilliantly done. Like, their B executes had been so dangerous throughout the half, the way that they were taking checkers control and rolling off of that into B splits. And then they use it to actually do a mid-round, you know, read after they clear out the vents push to counter boost vents, and Happy was lurking towards the A side the whole time. He's able to get into the site and kind of backdoor a player towards truck, and then kind of just hold that with the pop flash. Like, just the way they played out that last round was just so good. Like, it was so fun to watch in the sense that they just tactically handled it to a T. So props to them on forcing a third map. They played well.
Definitely deserved. EnVyUs certainly the better of the 2 teams on cash. And now we move across to Cobblestone, which is going to be, I think it's going to be an awesome lights out map between these 2. I'm hoping it will be anyway. But we'll find out if it lives up to the hype or not after this short break, guys. Rejoin us in a few moments.